Ford had it. In this moment, there was no way anyone could see Ford losing. And yet, they clutched defeat from the jaws of victory. And instead of possibly a 1-2-3 Ford finish, Toyota would get the victory. And like Kevin Harvick said, it would be catastrophic had they not won at Talladega. Ford has struggled this year. They have not been good anywhere but super speedways, and the new dark horse has been difficult for the teams to take on. With that as well, they can probably improve as the season goes on, but that's not a guarantee. Toyota has hit the ground running and is probably ahead of schedule. Chevrolet, especially with Hendrick Motorsports, is incredibly fast, and it just seems like Ford is the third-tier manufacturer once again. So with 16 races remaining, what now? What does Ford do? Do they just continue puttering along and hope they luck into a win or two? Do they just go winless for the year? Who exactly are the guys that we can count on to try and break the goose egg in the win column and ultimately qualify for the playoffs, whether it be with that win or with points? Well, let's go team by team and see what we got. Starting with Team Penske, Austin Cindric has been the third wheel. He has only seemed really good on super speedways, and while he can be good on road courses, his road course career in Cup is nowhere near the level it needs to be when it comes to winning and making the playoffs. So far, I'd say the best chance he has and the only chance he has at winning without it being a rain race or something crazy happening would be Daytona. Now, his teammates, on the other hand, I think have a better shot. Ryan Blaney, for instance, is the best Ford driver so far this year. He's the defending champion and has looked like a true threat most weeks. It's not like he's someone who is long forgotten, and it's not like he's lucking into these good finishes. I do think that Blaney is somebody who could win just about anywhere. I'd say his best chance is a mile and a half, and of course he's good at the super speedways like Daytona, but I could see Ryan Blaney stealing a win anywhere or just flat out running as well as anyone anywhere. Like I said, he's the best Ford driver. He's the number one guy at Penske right now, defending champion. I think he's the only guy at Ford that definitively has things looking up. Joey Logano, on the other hand, started slow, and while it's looking up from that, it's not necessarily as good as many fans would expect from Logano. In recent years, while showing life, he has decreased a bit in his production from the 2010s. The 2010s for him were incredibly productive, and he was one of the winningest drivers and a threat every week. I can't say he's been a threat every week, especially in the next-gen era, even with a championship win. Logano overall has just cooled off. I think, though, that tracks like Gateway and New Hampshire might be the ones to look at for him getting a win, especially Gateway. And then I'll add in Harrison Burton. While being with the Wood brothers, let's be honest here, that 21 car is practically a fourth Penske car. And it is probably the fourth wheel on this little car here, as I don't think he could even keep up with Austin Cindric. More often than not, our races he finishes outside of the top 20 or sometimes top 30. And when top 10s are difficult to come by, wins, in my opinion, are damn near impossible. Stewart-Haas Racing, to me, is the most interesting of the Ford teams right now for the simple fact that next year, they're probably not going to be in a Ford. And if they are, they certainly won't be by 2026. Josh Berry, for instance, is a rookie driver, but he's just been off this year. He is no Kevin Harvick, and I don't think anyone should have expected him to be anywhere near what Kevin Harvick was last year, even with the same team. He just is a rookie. And I think that he might be able to rise up every now and then and challenge for top 10s, top 5s, and maybe sneak into a win. But I don't see him as being a challenge anywhere for a win. The best I could see is Richmond, and that's simply off what he did at Hendrick Motorsports. I can't see it, though. Noah Gragson, on the other hand, has been a solid 9th to 14th place guy just about every week this year, even if the results don't completely show it. He has performed above expectation, and for that, I think he should be commended. He should not be expected to win either, but I do think that somewhere like Daytona, of course, but somewhere else that would be pretty good would maybe be New Hampshire, where this team with Eric Almirola excelled. Chase Briscoe is the only one who I could actually see realistically winning this year. He's quietly been solid all season. He's shown true top 5 speed at times, especially at Phoenix, and I think that when that happens, he just needs to capitalize. I think we're going to see it again, and I think he'll be good at road courses as well as the flat tracks, as Stewart-Haas has, again, excelled there. Ryan Preece is probably the weak link of the team right now. He might have one pop-up run this year, kind of like Martinsville last year, where he actually is a threat to win. I think RFK is really interesting as well. Both drivers perform about the same each week, give or take, but I would say that Buescher is the one over Keselowski as the lead driver at RFK. He is a second-half driver as well, and this team overall has performed each year better in the second half of the season. And they keep taking steps. But I would say this, Buescher I could see winning everywhere. He's not necessarily someone who specializes per se, but it does seem like he can win at just about any track, as shown last season. Brad Keselowski, I think, can do a bit similar. I think that tracks with old school driver talent, kind of like that Bristol race, will be where he excels, and intermediates as well. But I just don't see anywhere that he is a surefire true contender to win outside of Daytona. To me, front row is fittingly RFK light. Michael McDowell is the true leader of this team, but he has started slow compared to years prior, and after a close loss at Talladega, it doesn't seem like there's anywhere he truly can win except for Daytona coming up. The road courses he'll be strong at, but with stage yellows and actual strategy from higher-end teams coming into play, I don't see him being a true threat. Todd Gilliland has raced better this year, by the way, especially compared to 2023, but he is still a year or so away from being a winning threat the way McDowell can be. I think Daytona is the best chance he can get, as he has been the fastest guy at super speedways this season. And finally, with teams, we have Rick Ware Racing. Rick Ware Racing, in my opinion, unless there's a rain delay or something crazy, is not going to win this year. They're still a year or two away, and that's not a diss on the team. They've improved immensely since last season, and their speed is there. They just don't have it yet. So of all these guys, who do I think are the true threats to make the playoffs, either via wins or points? Well, I think there's 5. Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, Brad Keselowski, and Chris Buescher. I think at least 4 of them will make the playoffs this year, and I think there are 2 guys who are iffy threats. Ones that won't win their way in or point their way in, but maybe could be at the right place at the right time against all the odds I just laid out. And that is Noah Gragson and Michael McDowell. McDowell for the reasons we said before with road courses and super speedways, and Noah Gragson because he has excelled and exceeded expectations, and maybe he's the one that has that SHR pop-off race. But with that, I want to pass it on to you. What do you see Ford doing for the rest of 2024? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video. Share this video and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support, and be sure to watch the NWP this Wednesday night on my channel. So until next time, have a good one.